An absolute stud on the football field. Mark, you know I was legitimately excited about Spencer being on set with us for a lot of reasons. He absolutely crushed it at South Carolina, sensation at that quarterback spot. But I've been growing frustrated, man. I feel like here on Total Access, every other outlet that I see, the same conversation about the same 4 or 5 other quarterbacks, and your name's just not popping up as much. Are you? You're probably feeling like I am. I think you're the most overlooked quarterback right now in this draft class. Do you feel that way?
I guess you could say so, but at the end of the day, control what you can. Everybody's opinion, you got to respect it and just handle what you can, work as hard as you can, and wherever everything else falls, it will.
Yeah, Spencer, that's a great attitude, running draft rooms for 20 years. Just get picked, and then you get where you need to go and then ball out. But so let's talk about, you played at 2 high-level programs. Not a lot of quarterbacks have done that, and you played at a high level. But then when you went to the Senior Bowl and you were the MVP, was there a huge difference in the coaching that you got at OU, at the USC, compared to what you got down there in Mobile?
I felt super prepared going into Mobile. The verbiage, the system, other than a few things like protections, I was pretty familiar with it, based off the 2 systems I was in at South Carolina being pro style. Dal Loggins did a great job with our offense and I last year, taught me a lot, and felt very comfortable going into Mobile that week.
Mark and I have been able to hang out the last couple of years covering the NFL draft, and yet the one thing that I know Mark has always preached, when you get starts at the quarterback spot at the college level, it usually helps fast track that success that a guy could have early. 42 career starts. That's like a good sample size for a lot of kids that are coming out of school. How do you think that will potentially impact your ability week number 1 to give whatever team picks you a chance to win?
Yeah, I think whatever situation, I end up in, I feel like I'm a guy that's prepared. Like you said, 42 starts. I can hang my hat on that and be proud of it. Seen a lot, been through a lot, and, definitely ready.
Spencer, look, when I evaluate quarterback, it's about playmakers, but what's their superpower that separates them from another quarterback? And that could be on or off the field. What do you think is your superpower that separates you and is going to say, yep, I'm the guy?
I feel like I'm a guy that can make any throw on the field. Elite passer, very accurate, can process at a very high level, quick learner. Was in 3 different systems throughout college, played in 2 of the best conferences in college. I'm a guy that is a great leader. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to lead guys around me, make guys around me better. And I feel like I'm an ultimate competitor. So having those traits as a quarterback, I feel like you can be set up for success.
How are these visits going? You and I were talking off air. It seems like there's some pretty good interest from teams that probably are looking for a guy like you to be inside that quarterback room. Take me through with this process and the conversations and what they're like with some of these NFL squads.
Visits have been amazing. I mean, it's a long process. I've had a lot of meetings, interviews, a couple private workouts. It's been awesome, getting to sit down with these coaches from all these different teams and get to talk to them, get to know them, learn their offense, talk ball. It's fun, man.
Now, Spencer, part of your playmaking there, sometimes you just chuck it up there and this dude, number 17, this huge guy just grabbing balls out the air for you, saving you a little bit. Talk about your teammate there, Xavier Leggett, because you guys seem to have such a nice connection and his skill set and how much preparation you guys went to game week. But even now, are you still working out together?
Yeah, I try to put it in the perfect spot for him every time. So we help each other out. He was a great receiver. Really worked his tail off this past year and had a historic season. This past year we were together these past 2 months down in Phoenix at Exos training for the combine. So the work with him was awesome, and I know he's going to shine at the next level for sure.
There's no guarantee for any player that's going to hear their name called during the NFL draft. And yet I asked you if you felt like you were overlooked. And Marcus said, hey, just get picked. And yet the reality is I look at the mocks and I see some names, some people have you as a day 3 guy. And Kirk Cousins, $90 million guaranteed. Dak Prescott looks like he might be in line to be a free agent next year. He's going to probably eclipse that number. Both those guys, day 3 quarterbacks. Do you give any thought to that and where you land and the money or any of those factors?
No, obviously I want to go as high as I can. That's everybody's goal. Feel like I'm a top 4 or 5 quarterback in this class for sure. Been showing it throughout this process, but at the end of the day, not everybody can start their first year coming into the league. You look at guys like Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, other guys like that have started as backups, and now you see they're flourishing now. So whatever situation I end up in, I'm going to be fully prepared, work my tail off, and learn from the guy ahead of me.
Spencer, something a little fun. Let's talk non-football there. We know football is king in the South, SEC, even in Columbia, but right now, the SC women's basketball team is kings and queens and everything. Dawn Staley, coach of the year. I'm from Philly. She's from Philly, rolling into the Final Four. How much have you supported the team? Are you going back home to Phoenix to check them out? Well, they're in Cleveland. Sorry, the other Final Four. Do you follow them, check them out, work out with the ladies? How is that synergy between the hoops team and the football squad?
Now, the football squad always roots on the girls' basketball team and men's as well. But our girls are serious, man. I mean, undefeated on the year. Hopefully they finish out undefeated and win it all. And, I expect them to go out tomorrow night and do their thing. So they're really talented.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to watch. It'll be fun to hear where you end up on draft day. Hey, Mark, one thing that we didn't talk about with Spencer, pocket awareness also on the set. Did you see he was taking cues? He was finding his camera. Not everyone can do that.
Natural.
Right?
It's a natural, natural guy right there.
I absolutely love it. Always just following the you're on point, man. Hey, seriously, stay healthy. Enjoy this process. Can't wait to see you on Sundays.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All the best, Spence.
Thank you.